Welcome to the channel, subscribe for more audio stories. Evan didn't want to believe it at first. Suspicion wasn't something he wore naturally. He'd always been the trusting one, the steady one, the man who assumed people meant what they said. But lately something about Jenna felt off. It started small. A shift in how she held her phone, angled away from him, screen tilted toward her chest. Then came the password change. She brushed it off with a laugh, saying she'd accidentally locked herself out and had to reset it. But she didn't tell him the new one. Then the late nights began. "Work's been crazy," she'd say, slipping on her coat. "Wednesdays are the worst. Don't wait up." At first he didn't. He trusted her. He wanted to trust her. But trust has a way of thinning when the truth is being stretched behind your back. One night, when she came home smelling faintly of cologne that wasn't his, he finally asked, "Are you seeing someone else?" She froze just for a second, but he saw it. That flicker. That tiny, involuntary pause that said more than any words could. Then she scoffed. "Evan, stop being paranoid. Seriously. You're acting crazy." But he wasn't crazy. He was hurt. And hurt people start looking for answers. By the next Wednesday he'd made up his mind. He took off work early, parked across from her office and waited. When she walked out, he followed at a distance, his heart pounding so hard he felt it in his throat. She didn't go to work. She didn't go to the gym. She didn't go anywhere she'd ever mentioned. She went to a restaurant. A nice one. Evan waited until she disappeared inside before he followed. He kept his head down, scanning the room until he saw her in the back corner, laughing, leaning forward, holding someone's hands across the table. And the man she was holding hands with? His cousin Mark. The betrayal hit him like a punch to the ribs. His vision blurred, his breath stuttered. For a moment he genuinely thought he might black out. He wanted to storm over. He wanted to flip the table, scream, demand answers. But instead, something colder took over, something steadier. He pulled out his phone and took photos. Several. Enough to erase any doubt. Then he saw them kiss. That was the moment something inside him cracked. He left before they could see him, walked out into the cool evening air, and drove straight to Mark's house. His hands shook the whole way. When he knocked, it was Mark's wife, Emily, who answered. Her smile faded instantly when she saw his face. "What's wrong?" "Evan, what happened?" He didn't speak. He just handed her the phone. She scrolled through the photos, her expression collapsing piece by piece until she sank onto the stairs, covering her mouth with her hand. Tears spilled over her fingers. "I knew it," she whispered. "I knew something was wrong. His stories, they didn't add up. I thought I was imagining it." They sat together for nearly an hour, trading proof like two people comparing wounds. She had emails, texts, receipts. Enough to end her marriage. Enough to take everything. When Evan finally left, he felt hollow. Not triumphant. Not vindicated. Just empty. He went home and packed Jenna's things, every sweater, every book, every hair tie she left on the bathroom counter. He stacked the boxes by the door and waited. When she walked in later that night, she froze. What is this?" "I know," he said simply. "I know about you and Mark." Her face went pale. Then red. Then wet with tears. "Evan, please, it's not what you think. I can explain." "You don't need to," he said. "I saw you. I took pictures." She tried everything, crying, yelling, blaming him, insisting it just happened, insisting she was confused, insisting she still loved him. But he was done. "Get out," he said quietly. "We're finished." She left in a fury, slamming the door so hard the frame rattled. The next morning, pounding shook the door again, but this time it wasn't her. It was Mark. He barged in without waiting to be invited. "You ruined my marriage," he shouted, face red, eyes wild. Evan actually laughed. A short, humorless sound. "I ruined it? You did that yourself. And you ruined my relationship too." Mark's jaw clenched. "You didn't have to tell her. You didn't have to show her. You cheated on your wife," Evan snapped. "With my girlfriend. What did you think was going to happen?" Mark stepped forward, but Evan didn't flinch. "You have 30 seconds to get out of my apartment," Evan said, voice low and steady, "before I put you through the wall." Mark hesitated, then left, shame written across his face. And just like that, the fallout began. Word spread through the family faster than either of them expected. Evan's mother called crying. His aunt called screaming. His uncle called demanding explanations. Relatives were choosing sides, whispering judgments, and pretending not to stare. Mark moved out of his house within a week. Emily filed for divorce. She didn't want to hear his excuses, didn't want to see him, didn't want to salvage anything. She was done. Jenna tried to reach Evan several times. Calls, texts, emails. Long paragraphs about regret, confusion, mistakes, loneliness. She even showed up at his work once, crying in the parking lot until security asked her to leave. One night, she caught him outside his apartment. "Evan, please," she begged. "Just talk to me. I made a mistake. A horrible mistake. I wasn't thinking. I didn't mean to hurt you." He looked at her, really looked at her, and felt something twist painfully in his chest. "I loved you," he said quietly. "Completely. I trusted you with everything I had. And you broke that. You broke me." She sobbed, reaching for him, but he stepped back. "There's no coming back from this," he said. "Not for me." She cried harder, but he didn't waver. He couldn't. Something inside him had closed, sealed shut like a wound that would scar but never fully heal. Eventually she left, shoulders shaking, hope extinguished. Months passed, but the damage lingered. Family gatherings were awkward. Some relatives blamed Mark. Some blamed Jenna. Some blamed Evan for making it public, as if the betrayal had been his fault for refusing to keep it quiet. He stopped attending most events. He didn't want to see Mark. He didn't want to see the pity in people's eyes. He didn't want to answer questions or relive the moment over and over. Emily, surprisingly, became a friend. They checked in on each other occasionally, two people who understood the same kind of hurt. She told him she was healing, slowly. He told her he was trying. Jenna moved out of town eventually. Mark moved into a small apartment alone. Their affair hadn't blossomed into anything meaningful, it had only destroyed what they already had. Evan rebuilt his life piece by piece. Therapy. New routines. Long walks. Quiet nights. He learned to enjoy his own company again. He learned to trust himself again. But he never took Jenna back. Not because he hated her, but because he knew love without trust is just longing wearing a mask. And he refused to live like that.